shortage of rainfall due to global warming and droughts pose a threat to operations in the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is one of the most crucial waterways in the world.
Imagine this, a traffic jam like no other. A maritime log jam that has over 200 ships waiting restlessly at the doorstep of the Panama Canal. It's not just any gridlock, it's a crisis that's sending shockwaves through the global trade landscape. But why is the Panama Canal, a vital artery of commerce, stuck in such a predicament? What could possibly have brought this economic lifeline to a screeching halt? And can it ever regain its former glory? The ill-fated French venture. It all started in the late 19th century when Ferdinand de Lesseps, the mastermind behind the successful Suez Canal, had grand plans to replicate that triumph in Panama. Inspired by the prosperity of the Suez project, de Lesseps aimed to dig a canal from ocean to ocean through Panama's challenging terrain. However, Panama had quite a few surprises in store for the French. See, the dense jungles and rampant tropical diseases, largely unknown at the time, took a pretty hefty toll on the workforce, leading to hundreds of worker fatalities each month. The project went drastically over budget, and doubts about its feasibility began to surface. And en France, de Lesseps downplayed these setbacks to reassure investors. But after 8 grueling years with little progress, the truth finally emerged. Scandalous stories of millions in bribes and widespread corruption came to light, causing the project's bankruptcy. Prominent officials were handed long jail sentences, although most were later overturned. The dream of a Panama Canal, however, never faded, eventually passing into more capable hands. The American Triumph. In 1903, the U.S. government made a savvy move, securing the rights to build and administer the canal zone after Panama declared independence from Colombia. They paid a cool $10 million and got to work. The Americans, masters of industrial manufacturing at the time, brought their A-game to Panama. They employed steam-powered cranes, giant rock crushers, and even custom steam shovels and track shifters to carve through the challenging terrain. The most formidable obstacle was the mountain range on the Atlantic side, but the U.S. tackled it head-on, as we do. The project, with its massive machinery and ambitious vision, was nothing short of historic. And in 1914, by the grace of Lady Liberty, we did it. We completed the Panama Canal. Ships entering the Miraflores locks, tugboats deftly positioning them, gates closing, and the sluices opening, allowing water to flow in. A process repeated until ships reached Gatun Lake. On the other side, the process reversed, lowering ships back to sea level. This engineering marvel revolutionized global trade, cutting transit times significantly. Today, nearly 97% of the world's trade container fleet can navigate the canal. The American Triumph not only showcased their engineering prowess, but also solidified the Panama Canal's role as a vital artery of international commerce. But the environmental flaw. Okay, now here's where the plot takes a twist, an environmental one. See, there's a quirk in the Panama Canal's design that might not have been so apparent back in the early 20th century. Each time a ship passes through these locks, it's like sending millions of gallons of fresh water down the drain, or in this case, into the sea. Gatun Lake, a key component of the canal, loses about 50 million gallons of water with each ship transit. To put that into perspective, it's roughly what 2,000 people use in an entire year. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, it wouldn't be much of a problem if the canal could easily replenish that water. But here's the rub. The canal depends on rainfall to top up its water levels. Now, here's where Mother Nature decided to throw a curveball. In 2023, Panama experienced its driest year in over half of a century, and the water levels in Gatun Lake hit rock bottom. Even during a regular year, you'd expect some drop in water levels during the dry season and a rise when the rainy season kicks in. But 2023 just kept getting drier, leaving the canal high and dry, so to speak. So what's the plan to tackle this water loss issue? Well, Panama has been making some moves. They've expanded the locks and are pushing for dual transits, trying to make each drop of water count more. The growing crisis. The water levels in Gatun Lake hit record lows, and the Panama Canal Authority started playing the role of a traffic cop, but not in a good way. They've been restricting ship transits, and that's never a good sign. In July 2023, they put their foot down and said, "Fewer ships, please." Then in September and November, they tightened the screws even more. These restrictions are expected to stick around until at least February of 2024. So what's the fallout of all of this? Well, imagine you're the captain of one of those waiting ships. You're just twiddling your thumbs, but you're also hemorrhaging money. Large container ships pay around $400,000 for the privilege of passing through the canal. With these delays, some companies are digging deep into their pockets to skip the line. In August 2023, one ship coughed up a whopping $2.4 million to jump ahead. But wait, there's more drama. In November, a Japanese ship said, "Hold my sake," and paid nearly $4 million to bypass the queue. Yeah, that's right, big bucks just to avoid the wait. Now, here's where it gets even messier. If this Panama Canal problem drags on or gets worse, some companies might just say, "Adios, canal," and take the longer alternative routes. And that's a pretty big deal. Why? Because it means more greenhouse gas emissions and higher shipping costs. And guess who ends up paying for that? That's right, you and me, my friend, in the form of pricier goods. Proposed solutions. The brains behind the operation, the Panama Canal Authority, have floated an idea. They want to build a brand new reservoir, and they're eyeing the Indio River as the water source. Now it sounds promising, right? This reservoir would be created by building 3 dams on the river, capturing rainfall from the entire drainage area over time. Then they'd funnel all that precious water to Gatun Lake through a tunnel. Voila! More water for the thirsty canal. But hold on a sec, there's no such thing as a free lunch. This plan has its fair share of challenges and controversies. First off, it means saying adios to the homes of people living in that area. We're talking about displacing communities, which is never an easy pill to swallow. And then there are the environmentalists who've got their alarm bells ringing. Building dams can have some not so great impacts on the ecosystem. It's not just the construction, it's the ongoing management that needs to be on point to avoid ecological disasters. Here's the thing, the canal is in a bit of a tight spot. This isn't just about keeping ships moving, it's also about ensuring fresh water for over half of Panama's population. The rainy season in 2023 didn't exactly come to the rescue, and if they don't find a sustainable solution soon, next year's dry season could be a catastrophe. A race against climate change. You see, it's not just the canal that's been having a rough time lately. Rising oil prices have hit the industry hard, causing a massive freight recession. Companies have had to tighten their belts, and in some cases, that meant letting go of more than a few employees. For instance, Danish shipping giant Maersk had to wave goodbye to over 10,000 people worldwide. Ouch. But here's the real kicker. The Panama Canal's fight for survival is not just about the here and now. It's also about the future and a little bitty something we like to call climate change. The canal's dependence on rainfall has left it vulnerable to droughts, and the latest ones could just be a sneak peek of what's to come. With climate change playing its cards, the canal's sustainability could be on the line. So what's the bottom line here? We're facing a race against time and climate change. It's a call to arms, a plea for innovation and technical wizardry to secure the future of the Panama Canal. The stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction are far-reaching, not just for the canal, but for global trade and our planet as a whole. It's time to roll up our sleeves and find solutions that can stand up to the challenges of a changing world. Now, if you liked our video, then please make sure you give us a like and subscribe, and click that notification bell to stay updated for whenever we release new content, which should be coming your way soon. So make sure you stay posted for more. We'll see you all in our next video.